Welcome back to Sin City. It's Alex Belfield in Las Vegas with Celebrity Radio, talking to some of the world's biggest stars and most talented people, and we've got one for you today. A guy and his brothers who perform around the world. Frankie Moreno has been wowing Las Vegas with his sellout show for many years, and he continues to do so across the US. I was delighted to catch up with him recently and began by congratulating him on being so incredibly talented and multi-skilled.
Thank you so much. I mean, you know, it's every show we just try to beat the last show. You know what I mean? My dad was playing old records of guys like Jerry Lee Lewis and stuff like that, and which was not cool for my era. You know, they were growing up, they were listening to NSYNC, and but I listened to that stuff and just it got in me, and I could just do it. I don't know, it was weird.
And those fingers, seeing them on the screen, how quickly they move and the stuff you can do is just breathtaking. And then we're sat here probably in the most decadent dressing room I've ever been in Las Vegas, and I've been in most of them. You even have your own grand piano in another room. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's actually a custom Baldwin that was made for us. It was played once before by Shakira on the Grammys, and then they gave it to us. And yeah, this dressing room is pretty, it's unique. We're lucky in that sense that we get, that was part of my deal here, like my contract. I said, you know, we on and off the stage, we want to be happy.
Right.
You know?
Because this is a tough time. I mean, most guys here are paying for their own shows. They're paying for their own publicity. If they want 2 dressing rooms, they have to pay for 2 dressing rooms, so they don't bother. It seems like they're committed to you as much as you're committed to them.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing it's a win-win, because, I mean, for me, we needed a push like this, you know, and for them, they hadn't had a headliner here in a long time. So it was an exciting thing for both of us to get involved in, and it's 6 months in, we started winning all the awards, the headliner of the year, all that stuff, and so because of that, they're all very cool to us, we're very cool to them, and everyone's happy.
Simon Cowell says you're amazing. He doesn't say anybody's amazing, so there's an accolade to start with.
I went out to London actually, and we were starting a project. I was starting a project through Sony Epic with Simon Cowell, and it never ended up materializing, but we got to perform for him and work with him, and that was really cool. And then I came back here to Vegas and said, you know what, let's use the advice that he gave and do the stuff he was doing, and we started changing things up and dressing a little differently, and he's right.
The ladies just find you delicious. That's a feeling I've never had. How does that feel to have ladies find you attractive?
It's disgusting. I don't know. I've never been about that, but I mean, I'm thankful knowing how the business works. I'm thankful that I don't have 4 noses or something like that, you know. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, people see and hear everything with their eyes. So I mean, they're listening to the songs, but it's not just the way you look. It's the way the lights are on the stage. It's the way you present yourself. It's presentation. It's when you buy a record or you buy a present for yourself, the way it's packaged is a big deal. So, I mean, you know, I wish it wasn't that, but I'm aware of that. And it's hard for me because I'm a very trained musician. You know, I mean, music it's my blood. So I hate the fact that a lot of my colleagues and stuff don't necessarily train in it, but they got a pretty face and they get it. So, but that's cool. I mean, it's the business. But for us, we really, you know, we really take it serious, and we really, you know, it's about the music. It's about getting people to not just buy the music, but connect to the music. Because if you connect to the music, then you got like a Beatles thing or an Elvis thing or a Frank Sinatra thing where people connect. Instead of just a cool song that you're like, that's cool, and it's a hit of the year. So what we've done is we've really tried to build an arsenal to get to this point, try to tweak it. This show, what you're seeing is 1 year old. It's 1 year old. So why we haven't been touring and everything like that? Well, that's the step we're hitting right now. So we're going to start touring, and this last record we just released, we went into Dancing with the Stars in America here, and record just went through the roof. And so now we're setting up tours, international, you know, Europe, Asia, and we're going to do all that stuff, and hope that people like the music outside of America, you know. But yeah, Vegas is cool because you do get a wide variety. We even get sometimes we're out here and there's, you know, parents with like 8-year-old kids and stuff that can't get into the show, but they want to take a picture afterwards and they get a CD, and it's pretty cool. And I think the kind of stuff we're doing and what we're writing it's positive stuff. You know, it's not dark rock stuff, or it's not about showing off what we can do. Everyone in the band's a great musician. I mean, they're phenomenal. But it's not about showing off that. It's utilizing it in the song when it needs to be utilized for a reason. You know, when it's time to show what the guitar player can do, take it. Otherwise, play the part of the song, and that translates to the crowd. You know what I mean?
You really can tell that. And what I love tonight is the horn section. I mean, I always fall for that. It to me is the epitome of a great live show. If you can hear those horns beautifully, clearly, and with such great talent, I mean, it just makes the show.
Well, you know what we did for a long time? We were just a 4-piece band, and we would do, because my brothers Tony and Ricky, we all three write the music. So we travel. We go all over the countries, everywhere, to write music. We'll record ourselves in front of the pyramids, or in front of the Eiffel Tower, or in front of, you know, in Vietnam, you know, and we'll write them and we'll bring them back here, and then we would work it up, and we would try to write like a country song because we love country music. We would try to write a pop song because we love pop, a funk song, a classical thing, and we would write all these songs, and when audiences would listen to it, they'd like it, but they didn't understand it. So we said, well, why don't we expand the band and mesh it? So we'll put the funk and the jazz with the horns, right? The strings, we'll write all the arrangements for them classically, have the rock rhythm section, and then our lyrics, I wouldn't say are country, but they have that element of storytelling, which to me is more 50s, 60s kind of a thing, you know? But so you got all these mixed elements, so then it kind of creates a sound that you've heard it all before, but it's fresh, you know?
It feels like we know these tunes, but they're totally original. And when you said this evening, I'm going to be singing all my own material, my heart sank, because I thought, oh my God, this is going to be the longest 90 minutes of my life.
Yeah. Well, that's what most... See, now people coming into town, they don't know who we are. They go, I never heard of him. And what does he do? A piano player, you know, and he plays songs we've never heard. So I think people come in pretty much with the arms folded, going like, all right, what do you got? But it's, you know, I used to write as a staff songwriter for a long time in Nashville, Tennessee, and not just country music, everything, but the whole trick was learning the whole art of writing commercially, meaning by the time it comes to the second chorus, you need to feel like you've heard the song 100 times, not for the first time. And so we've really kind of mastered tweaking our music to sound familiar, you know, and it's not easy to do that, but it definitely, the impact is stronger when you hear it for the first time, and then you give it more of a chance as a first-time listener, you know?
Such an amazing band and a team around you, and of course it's a family affair. There's your dad sat in the audience, there's your brother stood next to you, there's your brother running through the audience. What's all that about?
well, dad and mom, my mom and dad used to come to almost all the shows. My dad, I don't think, has missed a show here, and he played a little guitar before, and I mean, he's the reason I play music, because we had music instruments all over the house, you know. Tony, my brother, the bass player, started playing bass at 14 because my bass player quit, and bought him a little bass, a little junior bass, and said, learn these songs and you can play on the stage and practice them with it. And he come practice them with me, and then he started doing it on the stage, and we're like, huh, he's 14, he's got this down. By the time he's 16, he'll really have it down. He looked like he was 50 years old at 16 years old. And
we all have that problem.
No, I mean, he was tall, he grew a full beard, you know what I mean? And we'd walk around, and I'd be 10 years older than him, and he'd get carded, and I'd get carded, and he wouldn't. And so I thought, like, wow, this could be really cool, because, you know, I grew up on the 50s stuff too, like the Everly Brothers and all that. I'm going, like, it's really cool when you get that sibling thing going, because it's just natural, you know. You don't have to work with someone to learn them. You naturally, I know where his brain's going to go on his instrument, and I can follow that, and vice versa. Ricky, he's the youngest. He's 23. 23? And he started writing with us too, and started coming to us later, like, because me and Tony were now writing songs. He'd come and goes, check this out, and he'd make this little work tape, and we go like, that's awesome. So we'd start working on it, and found out we all wrote well together. But Ricky was too busy spending all the money he was making on the songs and learning an instrument, so he was gambling it all away. So we figured, well, he doesn't play an instrument, so let's let him run through the crowd and smack people. So, but the three of us write all the music. Everything you heard, we all write together. And if one of us comes up with an idea, the first thing we do is call the other guys and, you know, share the idea. So it's consistent.
the best energy I felt in a room in my entire 2 weeks of being here. You are clearly the most talented headliner I've seen in Las Vegas. Okay. The only show I've known to hand out shots for free to the audience. I mean, if there's any other reason to buy a ticket, you get free whiskey.
You know what it's all ultimately about? And I mean, and that goes back again, like to the Elvis and the Frank Sinatra, the guys who are the big ones, the Beatles, like the big ones. It's not about going on and putting on a show. That's one thing that was a pet peeve of, like, when we were playing before in bars, we'd go watch other bands in bars and they're putting it on like they're in an arena in a bar, or they're in an arena and they're doing like a bar act, you know, and it's going like, treat the room for the room, you know, wherever you're playing. And that's one thing that we always really said, like, no matter what, when I walk on the stage for a song, I try to sum the crowd up. How many people we got here? What kind of crowd are they? Are they into this right off the bat? Am I going to have to work for this? And make sure we really make everybody feel like they're supposed to be here, you know? And that's why, I mean, we're doing the Crown Royal thing, giving out the whiskey to people, just because it's like, it truly, to us, we're just throwing a party. We're hosting a party. And we're not trying to go, you know, hey, yeah. I mean, we do crazy tricks on the piano, and the band is some crazy musicians, and you know, we're doing funny little stuff, but really it's about us having fun and you guys having fun. And if we're not having fun, you're not having fun. And if you're not having fun, we're not having fun. So it's like, well, let's all have fun. And if that means go out and take a few minutes to ask questions and, you know, answer questions, or just take a moment to actually be a human being up there, you know what I mean? And it seems like they relate to that a lot more. You know, if someone wants a drink, come on up. We're sponsored by a whiskey brand, and we'll share it, you know, sharing the music, we're sharing the fun. It's not about us at that moment, you know.
And again, what is great about this show is it's what Vegas is all about. It's about putting one man on stage with great people behind him who can just knock you out. And let's face it, that's what Frank did, that's what Sammy did, that's what Dean did, that's what all these people have done through the years.
And that's what when we first came here, when we first started putting this together, it was really more about, forget the lights, forget the sound, forget the big orchestra about it. Let's just get a product. Let's get a handful of songs that people are going to like, that are going to hit people. Handful of songs, and just make that entertaining and fun. Now, sprinkle in a great light show, a great sound system, add strings, add horns. You're starting with a good foundation. You know what I mean? Where it's solid, and there's a point to it. It's not just going up there and playing music. We have a point, and I didn't want to do. You know, my idols are Elvis and Frank Sinatra. Those guys went out there with a microphone and a spotlight and kicked your butt. The Cirque shows out here are amazing. I can't compete with that. I can't. I mean, the lights, the money behind that, the dancing. I can't compete with that. But what I can bring is just a different element of one-on-one.
But you know, you'll never beat one man stood in front of an audience with an ability like yours. And if my sycophancy could get any worse during this interview, vocally, I mean, just exceptional. I have never heard anybody make really difficult stuff look so effortless. I mean, you were definitely born to do this. And again, when you sing Bridge Over Troubled Water towards the end, it crescendos. You know what you're doing with the lighting and the effects and the pausing and all that affectation that you do. But under that is a really tricky song to sing, and you nail it.
A song like that, what we did, I used to just go out there on stage, and there was a moment in the stage where I would just, every night I'd play a different song. And one night, I mean, I'd listen to something on the radio on the way here and go like, I know that song, I'll play it. Just so we had a casual moment. And I started playing that song one night, and the crowd went really crazy for it. So we did it again, and we did it again. And it just worked. It was just me and the piano. No band, no lights or nothing. We just put a spotlight on, and it just killed. So we're like, I don't want to put the band and the lights because it works. So we said, do this. Video just what I'm doing and build it around that. Rather than us try to build pauses and dramatic, all that was just what it was. And then they built the lights to that. The band, we wrote the arrangement to that. And that's why, like, that's a strong, I mean, what a Paul Simon, you know, Simon Garfunkel song, that's a huge song. So, I mean, the song does it by itself, you know. So we're just, and that's being a songwriter. I mean, we're entertainers, but being a songwriter, it's really about that. It's about the songs. And I mean, how do we make the song be the best it can be? Because when you leave and you buy the record, you don't have that show anymore. Those lights aren't going on. I'm not standing in front of you pouring you a shot of Crown Royal. All you got is the music. The music has to be strong to make you last as a supporter or a fan or a friend. You know what I mean? It's got to have longevity to it, and we try to put that into the music. That's our thing.
You are a genius. Congratulations. A phenomenal talent that was God blessed or something. It's sickeningly annoying. I mean, you've got the looks of the sort of Enrique thing that the girls are loving, and the talent beyond anything I've seen. Elton, Billy Joel, you're up there. I mean, the piano playing seriously is phenomenal, and your vocal power and strength and the way you hit it is second to none. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.